Last week we did adding decimals. This week we're doing subtracting decimals. And just like last week, the first thing I'm going to ask you is what is our rule when adding or subtracting decimals? I'm going to say it. Make sure you write it down or you memorize it because if you don't know this, I'm asking you to leave small group. When we are adding or subtracting decimals, our first step is always to align our decimals. Always the first step. So let's talk about what that means. So we have 3 and 1700ths minus 2 and 800ths. So we're going to rewrite this and and stack our numbers on top of each other so that our decimals are aligned. Not all the digits, but the decimals. That's what we care about most, is that our decimals are aligned together. And then once we get there, now we just subtract. 7 minus 8. 7 is too small, so we borrow from our neighbor. 17 minus 8 is 9. 0 minus 0 is 0. Bring our decimal. 3 minus 2 is 1. 1 and 900ths. It's really that simple. It's not a very difficult concept. It just comes down to, can you remember to line up your decimals? For example, if you have 13 and 9/10ths, and we're going to subtract 3 and 8/10ths. Okay? So when you set this up, you don't come here and go 3.8, then you're going to get the wrong answer. You have to make sure that when you stack your number, that your decimals are lined up. That's going to determine where you put your number, not how many digits are there. 9 minus 8 is 1. We bring down our decimal, see it's stacked up and down. 3 minus 3 is 0. 1 minus 0, if you want to put a 0 there, is 1. So we have 10 and 1/10. So it's really, really that simple. It's not very difficult at all. Just double checking here, make sure there's no wild cards being thrown at us. Yeah, there's nothing being thrown at us at all that we don't know about. Only little wrinkle you might see is something like this. If you see 8 and 2/10 subtracted by 5 and 5/9, right? There's nothing here. So you have to add or annex a 0. You have to put that 0 there. You have to annex it. And then we borrow and subtract like normal. 10 minus 9 is 1. 1 cannot subtract, 5 cannot be subtracted from 1. It's too big, so we have to borrow from our neighbor. So 11 minus 5 is 6. We bring down our decimal. 7 minus 5 is 2. So that's the only wrinkle that you really might see or come across, but this is extremely easy if you know how to subtract. If you do not know how to subtract, sit down with your parents, sit down with your big brother, heck, sit down with your little brother, little sister. They might know how to do it too. Sit down with somebody who knows how to subtract and practice with them. Okay, this is 2-5 in your book. So you can also go there to get extra support and extra problems to work on if you need a little bit help to brush up before you do the online and the digital component. Good luck, and I'll see you later.